started doing as well, and it was just a little theory, and I'm not really sure if I'm going to actually complete or how I'll completely execute it. I did have an idea originally that I wanted, because we have to sort of arrive here at the flame every time, I wanted there to be sort of this to be some sort of central area in some way. You know, not just in terms of when I travel here, but in terms of a central area for, you know, people who are hypothetically in this town, because it's a town, even though the game doesn't support NPCs as yet. So what I decided eventually to do, and the idea kind of only came to me after, you know, messing with and not quite finalising the collector's residence here. I've still got to plant all this out. Those of you who caught the last episode, we spoke of flattening this out for the collector, and his property boundary was kind of going to be about here. What I've decided to do was sort of create a bit of a botanic gardens up the top. So, and I also sort of thought in doing that as well that we could kind of incorporate this little walking out part here, which is holding onto that large lantern that's hovering over the collector's house. So I thought that this will actually be a part of that walk, so that you can come out here, just kind of check out the view while you're in the Botanic Gardens, cruise around, enjoy the views, come back and kind of walk through the trees and whatnot. I haven't really sort of done anything else other than kind of put that set of stairs down there as yet, and I'm not even sure whether this will stay as is. I did kind of have half an idea to do sort of like a treetop walk. Not sure about that as yet. Alright, well, g'day and welcome back. So I've gone away after that very quick initial video of having a look at potentially making a botanical garden section up top, and what I've done is I've gone ahead and thrown a few hours into it. So what we've decided to do thus far is put a path all the way through that central rock there, which I'm loving, so you can just come straight from the flame when you arrive and head on through to the gardens. The other thing I will have to do, and I'll work out how to do it at some stage, is I'll make a bridge over to that section just above where my head is there, and I'll also make some sort of set of stairs or something. I'm not really sure how at the moment. I'll work it out to get up to here from the marketplace. See a little bit of the plants, and I've done a little bit of planting, and the plants are starting to grow, and as are a couple of trees on the side of the hill there for the collector. So what I've done here is sort of planted out and done a little bit of fertilized garden soil for flowers, a little bit of flower soil, and what we've got now is the beginnings of the gardens. So I've probably planted out, I don't know, I guess half of it really. I just want to see sort of how a lot of stuff grows and how it's going to look over time. So what I did is I put a lot of stone here to sort of divide between here and the section below, which is the collector's residence, so that there's some privacy between the two. I may have to actually increase the height of this, so I might have to sort of do a few more stone blocks and plant out the wall looking from the collector's place up towards the top, which I've started to do, but I'll probably have to do it a little bit more. So we've begun. I don't really have a sort of theme for the botanical gardens. I just want to kind of have it as being just a whole lot of plants really, just so that people can just come in and hang out. And I'm not really concerned that there's no particular plant theme at all. So we've got a path through, which is kind of cool. And I've done a few of these little kind of seating areas as well in here. The building line, by the way, is just there, so that's why I've only gone sort of 2 there. Because as you can see, the flame shrine is a fair way away. It's actually the maximum distance away. I've increased the width of this, walking out, this little walkway out. I think what I'll do is actually increase it another 2, and what I'll do is put in, I really do love this sort of handrail, which I've put into the carpenter's residence. So I think what I'll do is put one of those handrails along the edges, and that'll sort of also offer a little bit of privacy down here to the residence below for the collector, because you can sort of see into the collector residence there. I may do that, or I might do something else, maybe even put sort of a half height door frame in or something like that. I don't know, I'm not really sure as yet. I'll work it out, because as I said, I've only sort of just begun. I've only sort of thrown, I guess, a few hours into this. And as you can see, I've had to sort of do a lot of, you know, a lot of insertion of terrain with soil and stone and whatnot. And you can't sort of just do the whole thing. You need to sort of, you know, start, take a look at it, see how it's growing out, see what it looks like, see if it's working or not. I'm thinking I might sort of do maybe a few more flowers in here. Probably do a few more soil, garden soil, fertilized soil in here, because this is just all mainly the, there's some strawberries underneath me there. This is all mainly the initial soil at the moment, so it's sort of looking a little barren. And I've tried to sort of put little random chairs in here as well, little seats. I didn't want to plant out too much here. I did plant one small tree here, which I might tear out at some stage, because I kind of like to maintain the view there as much as possible. I just wanted to sort of plant a small tree just to sort of test out the boundaries and see what it's going to look like. Not a small tree there. I planted a couple of the larger red trees in here. I want, you know, there to be a really sort of recurring theme of sort of giant old trees in here, and sort of just giant trees in general, because the view from my house, which is going to be over there above my head on that flat, that's going to be looking out over that vista over there, so it's not really going to be concerned with seeing the mountains or anything from over here. And I've added another little seating area in here as well, where you can kind of sit down and check out that mountain. Also, down below me, if you caught the beginning of the episode that I started on for the new residence for the blacksmith, that's the residence below me there, so I want this gardens to sort of not look out onto that. And at the moment it sort of doesn't, but I may do a little bit of building up and whatnot as well, so that it doesn't impinge upon that view there. And also, when I started creating the blacksmith residence, if you saw that video as well, you might have seen that I started building out this section here that I'm standing on, and also this section over here, but I don't actually intend on housing anybody in this at the moment. What I may do is house the next builder, who I've potentially left a space for here in those end spaces. Possibly, not really sure as yet. I've still got to do the farmer, as I mentioned, which is going to be here and underneath here, and there's going to be a whole heap of planting along here. So that's the general gist of where we're at Sorry if I'm kind of jumping around with explaining things, but I kind of need to explain the entire thing while I am explaining each individual little part through here, because it's quite a complicated build and there's a lot going on that's influenced by other things. So I'm liking this seating area thus far. I think it looks pretty cool, and I don't think the view from my residence over there is going to sort of impact on this in any way. The other thing I have thought about, and I probably will do and haven't started as yet, is make a little stairway from here up to the top. And when I mentioned at the beginning, I was talking about sort of having some kind of way to get higher views along the place here. I think that will actually be pretty cool, so I think I might sort of start just above my head there from there and make a little stairway up here and a little viewing platform up here as well. So there'll actually be sort of 2 viewing platforms from here, and that won't really impinge upon the view down there from the collector's house. But I may need to sort of do a tiny bit of tweaking there, and sort of so you can't sort of see, because this is going to be the collector's little private reading nook here that he looks down upon the marketplace on. So I'll have to kind of tweak things there. Alright, well, that is going to wrap us up for that. I just wanted to sort of provide a little bit of a series on this, and in terms of how I've done it all, if anybody's interested at all, I just basically did just a whole lot of terrain shapes there, and a lot of these sort of flat discs on spots that are sort of like that aren't very tall. So it's really easy to do process wise. It's just taking the time to actually sort of mess around and plant everything out. Right, well, I'll keep you up to date. I'll probably let this grow out and probably only do just one more and make this a series of only a couple of videos on this particular section, and we'll continue on with the rest of the builds. And as I mentioned previously, we still will be going on with the Blacksmith, so check that one out soon. Alright, well, thanks very much for watching, and we'll catch you next time on Glitch Gaming.